So this is a controversial topic and one that carries with it a lot of emotion. A lot of talking heads and financial gurus out there have very strong opinions about this. So the question still remains, should I pay off my mortgage as soon as possible, or should I take that money and invest it? There's several things that need to be considered when walking through or wading through this kind of murky issue. One of the things that has to be talked about is diversification. Really, here's what this means. If you pay off your home, that means a lot of your assets and your net worth is tied up in that home. Not only is that tied up in real estate, but it's tied up specifically in one piece of real estate. Now, what about the rest of your net worth? Do you have money in the stock market? Do you have money in bonds? Do you have money invested in other places? Because having money in one location and one type of asset like real estate, but worse, having money in one location, one actual piece of real estate, is not a very well diversified plan. And that carries with it a lot of risk. There's a couple other things that should also be considered, one of them being taxes. There's going to be a tax savings potentially by keeping things in a market versus paying things off. There's also liquidity, the access to the money. If you pay off your home and you need it, it's going to be harder to access that cash for things. But the big thing that you really need to focus on is the rate of return. So here's what I mean. If you have a mortgage, let's say your interest rate is 3, 4, 5%, okay, and it's this. Well, if you're investing in the market, there's a good chance that you'll earn a return of 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10%. And there's a difference here. So obviously, as you can see by my hands, you want your money in the area where you're earning more interest than what you're paying. So if you take money from here to pay this down, you're losing the opportunity for earning interest in the market. So let me just repeat that, make it a little simpler. Conservatively speaking, if you say earn 7 or 8% in the market, but you're paying 4% on your mortgage, there's an increase to your wallet, to your future financial portfolio of 3 or 4%. Another thing that's got to be a consideration when walking through this is your age. When are you going to retire? What are your income needs at retirement? Because that'll also play into this decision. So the truth is, the math says you probably shouldn't pay off your mortgage early and you should invest instead. But another thing that must be considered is the emotional piece, your behaviors. Are you the type of person that is going to stress out about having that debt? Do you have another aspirational identity emotionally tied to having debt or not having that debt? That's got to be a consideration. Where your emotions, where your head is at with your finances, it's a big deal. So again, the math says you should probably not pay off your house early, but I'm not here to tell you one is always better than the other. Blanket statements about this situation aren't always applicable. As we say often, personal finances should be personal. What you should do is take into consideration all the things that we've said in this video. Diversification, taxes, liquidity, rate of return, your age, and behaviors. All of these things should be considered prior to executing this decision. We did a podcast about this episode and talked in detail, talked at length about the goods and the bads about this. I strongly recommend you check it out. We'll put a link in the description below. Click on that link, listen to the podcast, and let us know what you think. As mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we talked about how emotional this topic is. A lot of people have very strong opinions. So what's your opinion? Are you a pay it off early person, or are you I'm gonna invest instead person? Put a comment below, let us know what you think and what you believe is best.